Welcome to the Disney Wedding Podcast. This show is brought to you by Carrie Hayward's Fairy Tale Weddings Guide, the only guidebook and bridal organizer tailored exclusively to Disney's fairy tale weddings at Walt Disney World. I'm Carrie Hayward, and each week I feature Disney wedding updates, money-saving tips, and interviews with wedding vendors and real Disney couples. I also cover honeymoons, anniversaries, and engagements at the Disney parks and resorts. Join me now as the Disney Wedding Podcast celebrates romance at Disney destinations. Today on the Disney Wedding Podcast, I am speaking with Disney brides Amanda Williams and Amy Cuevas about their ceremony at the Wedding Pavilion with a reception at the Grand Floridian's St. Augustine A&B ballrooms. I thought you guys would be interested to hear about how they chose these locations and how they planned everything and how it all turned out. So welcome, Amy and Amanda.
Hello.
Hello.
Thanks for being on the show today. I'd love to start at the very beginning and find out how the two of you decided you wanted to have your wedding at Disney.
Me and Amy got together and she decided we were going to go to Disney, and that was our first vacation together. And so after that, we just kept going to Disney, going to Disney and going to Disney. And then COVID came and shut everything down. And then when they opened back up, we booked a trip and Amy proposed to me. And then I knew instantly we were getting married at Disney.
That's awesome. Now, how did your friends and family react when they found out where the wedding was going to be?
Well, my family was super excited because I have a Disney family. Amy's family was...
They didn't care wherever it was. They were going to just come. They didn't have no preference.
That's great. Okay. So then how many guests did you invite and how many were able to make the trip?
So we invited 36 people and 34 came.
Wow. Did you set up a room block for your guests?
We did. It was All-Star Movies and French Quarter, and we just decided we wanted to have like a lower price.
A value resort and a more moderate. Nothing too expensive, nothing. Somewhere in between.
Yeah.
That's great. How did you guys choose the day of the week and time of day for your event?
It really didn't matter, I guess, what day.
We were all traveling either way. So
yeah.
Basically, we decided on price.
Yeah, we decided Wednesday was going to be the cheaper price out of all the days. So we just went ahead and booked the Wednesday. And then I wanted a nighttime wedding. So that was really how we chose the day. And then we just went with the nighttime wedding.
And the carriage had to be available.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, I think a lot of people don't know that you can actually request the carriage when you sign your letter of agreement. And so, yeah, if that's really important for you.
The carriage was really important to me. And then my main thing was we really wanted to get some firework pictures while we were all dressed up. And I just wish we would have waited for that. Like we would have picked another day to bring another photographer or bring a photographer in to get the firework pictures, because it kind of took away from the wedding a little bit.
Oh, that's interesting. Did you leave the reception to go out and take pictures during the Magic Kingdom fireworks?
Yes.
I see. Okay. So how did you guys choose your ceremony and reception venues?
So we were really deciding on the two outside venues at the Grand Floridian. It was the Marina, or it was another one too.
But you only wanted to do the outside because of the fireworks.
Yeah. So we were trying to decide on that, and then we actually walked to the Wedding Pavilion, and we saw that, and we just, as soon as we walked in the door, we were like, this is where we're getting married. We're not worried about the Marina no more. We're not worried about any of that. This is where we're getting married.
That's wonderful. And how did you choose the reception venue?
Disney kind of assigned the St. Augustine A&B to us when we told them we were going to do the reception. Because we added the reception later. We wasn't going to do a reception at all. We were just going to get married there and come home and have a big reception. But then we decided, like, kind of last minute, we were going to do the reception there. And so they assigned us the St. Augustine Ballroom.
That's interesting. How far before your wedding did you decide you wanted to add a reception?
We kept going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth with having a reception there because we had already had, like, planned something at home. So we just decided we're just going to have the reception too while we're there, since all the people were going to be traveling and everything. So,
I mean, we had to give them at least 6 months, but between 4 to 6 months, I would have to say. Because at first, initially, we were going to do a dessert party. And then from the dessert party, the reception came about, and we just chose the reception instead of a dessert party.
I see. Okay, got it. Now, did you guys use any outside vendors for the portions of your event that you were able to?
so we used Tony Bryan for the drape. And then we had like a neon sign, and she hung that from the drape.
Disney did the flowers.
Yeah, Disney did our flowers for the reception and for the sweetheart table. We also brought in like decorations from home because we wanted to save money with that. We brought in like the LED candles.
And the cylinders.
Yeah, the cylinders for the candles. We brought our own guest book, the card box. We had a bubble wand exit. We supplied the bubble wands,
They were the Disney bubble ones. So they had like
the characters. We had to go through Disney with the candles that were on the table because they were lit and they had like a fire hazard or something. Like they have to light them. So any candles that I brought in had to be the LED. I brought in a tablecloth for the cake, a tablecloth for the sweetheart table, and favors and stuff like that. We had menu cards on the table. I think that's it, really.
That's great. For the ceremony, how did you guys choose your officiant?
I called around to like a whole bunch of people in Florida, and I don't remember the guy's name. I know he's big in the Disney group, but I gave him a call and he suggested a guy named Ray Alonzo. So I called Ray, and it just so happened he was from Louisiana. And we, like, after talking to him, like, we knew instantly we were booking him.
That's wonderful. Did you add any kind of entertainment to the reception?
We did. We had
a DJ.
Yeah, we had a DJ, Willie Logo. And then we had Mickey, Minnie, Daisy, and Goofy. And then the end of the night, Amy surprised me with Chippendale.
That's awesome. Did you choose special outfits for the characters?
We did. Mickey was in a tux.
They were in their wedding gear.
Yeah.
All of them. Because even Chippendale was in their tux.
Yeah. Daisy came in her regular outfit. She came in her pink shirt. We're from New Orleans, so like our big thing down here for weddings is like a second line. And so me and Amy made umbrellas to bring because like the whole family was coming and we wanted to do the second line at the end of the night. And Chippendale were actually second lining with us. It was so much fun.
That's great.
Yeah, and they had like a little dance off. They were dancing like in competition with each other, who was like the best dancer. It was just so much fun with them.
What a great idea. Do you guys have any menu items or cake flavors from the reception that you would recommend?
Yes, actually. We did the marble cake with the white chocolate mousse. That was like the best. I do recommend doing the Mickey waffles with all the sides, the whipped cream, the chocolate, the strawberries. I do recommend that. And
no, the shrimp and grits and the Le Cellier steak was great. Actually, our whole menu was pretty well. Like, we didn't have any complaints about the food.
That's awesome. Yeah, if you're from New Orleans and you thought the shrimp and grits were good, that's a testament to Disney's level of skill.
Yeah. Well, when we went to the tasting, the chef actually came to our table and was sitting next to us, and Amy told him like, "Hey, we're from New Orleans, like we love our food seasoned, and if you can, like put some seasoning on the side in a bowl." And they were like, "Whatever you want, we're going to make it happen." So, I think they added a bunch of seasoning to the food.
That's awesome. Now, did you guys add any other events around your day, like a welcome party?
We did do a welcome dinner off property at Ruth's Chris, and we gave welcome bags with that, and we got some cupcakes from Publix for dessert, and those were pretty good.
That's nice. Did you have a private room or just make a large party reservation?
No, we actually had a private room and had the menu set up prior to us arriving.
Well, they had like a menu where you would choose what you would get, and then we would just have to email them back to say like, oh, so many people chose steak, so many people chose chicken, and like the kids' menus and stuff.
Fantastic. So, for your wedding day, can you give my listeners a timeline of how everything all fit together?
We woke up and me and Amy were staying in the Grand Floridian, but she was upstairs in a room. I was downstairs in the room. So hair and makeup, that's Kiss and makeup, Katie and Michelle. They went to her room first for hair and makeup, and then they came downstairs for hair and makeup with us. And then we did order food from Publix, and that was delivered. So we went get the food. Also, Nick and Prince came. They're in the Disney group also. They came and took like some videos while we were in the room getting dressed. And then as they were walking out, Regina was walking in. She was upstairs with Amy getting photos. And then she came downstairs and she took some photos of us getting ready. And then I basically just got in my dress. My girls helped me get in my dress. They sent Amy out. I guess it was like the patio area where we did our first look. And then we took a whole bunch of photos. Me and my dad did a first look also. Then Amy went to the Wedding Pavilion, and me and my dad waited for the coach to get there. That brought us over to the Wedding Pavilion. And then I guess we went into like a holding room, me and my girls, and we waited for everyone to walk. And then me and my dad walked down the aisle. Then we got married, and then we did photos after the wedding was over. We did photos at the Picture Point, I think it's called. And then we did photos inside of the Wedding Pavilion with the family. And then we did the bubble exit. And then we got in the coach. All the guests walked over to the reception, and me and Amy went for like this little ride in the coach. And then they took us to the reception, and they held us in like a little conference room until everyone was inside. And then they called us in, and we did the dances and we ate. Then the characters came out, and then we went outside with Regina to get the pictures with the fireworks. And we went back inside, and then that's when Chippendale came out. And then that was it. That was really it.
So, for each of you, what ended up being your favorite memory of your wedding day?
My favorite memory, well, I have two. Well, really, I have three. So when they were opening the doors to the ceremony, and you're just standing there, and they're like, this is when you take it all in. You walk slow, you walk when you're ready, you just take it all in. And I just stood there and everybody was looking at me. I was looking at them. And I was like, come on, Dad, let's go. And so that was like one of my favorite memories. And then my second one was, of course, the coach. Like, as soon as I saw the coach as we were going to Disney, like, I knew for my wedding, I needed the coach. Getting in the coach and everybody's just standing around and they're looking at you and people are taking pictures, and at that moment, like, you just feel like this is the most magical moment. Like, this is your chance, like, you're in the coach, like, this is like the best feeling. And then my third favorite memory is, I would have to say, like, the bubble wand exit. Like, that was just so much fun. Everybody was just standing around. We were walking through all the bubbles. It was just so much fun.
That's awesome.
I like the characters. The characters, they were just entertaining, every single one of them. And that's why I said that, if I'd go back, I'd add Donald in there. Because I'd probably add him and Pluto. And I know it's expensive, but to me, they were well worth it. They entertained with the crowd. They got everybody up moving, and everybody was, excited about them. And then you also had that one-on-one with them. Each character probably took time with almost everybody in there that wanted time with them. And granted, we didn't have 100 people. We only had 36, 34. But still, they did take the time out, and I think the money was worth it.
That's wonderful. So when you guys were planning, what were some of the most important aspects of the event where you focused your attention or your budget?
So the coach was really important to me. And it was really important that we took pictures in the park also. Like, that was top of my list. The photos were really important to me also, just because we have, like, a lot of family members that are kind of older and can't travel as much. So I wanted to share the photos with them.
Were there any aspects that were less important to you where you saved your money or just your effort?
I think what was less important to me, I guess, kind of like the decorations. That's why I brought, like, a lot of decorations with us. And, like, the chairs, how, like, you can upgrade to the chairs, the different, type of chairs or whatever. That really wasn't important to us. We just used the standard chairs. Other than that, I think that was it.
Now, did anything go wrong or just not turn out like you expected?
Yes. So our cake design was wrong. We did a FaceTime with a Disney baker that we actually talked to at the tasting, and we showed her, like, picture exactly what we wanted. She wrote down everything. She was giving us ideas, and we just showed her, like, exactly what we wanted. And the design was not how we wanted it. So that was the one thing that was wrong. The second thing that was wrong was one of the drinks at the wedding was the blue Hawaiian drink. I guess it's called the Bippity Boppity Boo. And I wanted to add the glitter to the drink. And when I went to the bar to get a drink and I requested the drink and I said, "Can you put the shimmer in the drink?" The bartender said, "We don't know what that is." So I'm not really sure if they had it or not.
Interesting. Okay. Was there anything you would have done differently knowing what you know now?
Yes, I would have definitely picked a cake design that Disney possibly does all the time. And I definitely would have got a bigger hotel room. We just booked a standard Grand Floridian hotel. It was really crammed in there with hair and makeup.
I would have added Donald Duck.
Amy would have added the Donald Duck to the characters. I definitely would have got a bigger hotel. And really, I think I would have spread out like the park pictures and the welcome party. Like, I think I would have did like spread it out between a week because everything was just so jammed up and was moving so fast. And it was like the day that we checked in, we had a rehearsal and we had the welcome party, and the room was not ready until 3, and we were running to the rehearsal. And then we were trying to like unload the car and get dressed for the welcome dinner, and we were like the last people to get there for the welcome dinner, and we were trying to put the bags out and everything, and it was really rushed. Like, I would definitely spread out events, like do like a wedding week, so you have time to get everything done, including the park photos.
That's a good tip. For your room at the Grand Floridian, when you got ready, how many people were in there getting ready with you?
It was me and 3 bridesmaids. Oh, and Dara.
Did you have a king size bed?
Oh, I had 2 beds, and it was just cramped. And then you have hair and makeup as 2 people, and then you have Regina in there with the camera, and then Nick and Prince was.
That's why, because you had a lot more.
Yeah, it was jammed.
Interesting. Okay. Do you guys have any other tips or advice for future Disney couples?
100% do the first look and get the pictures out of the way. I think pictures take the most time. If you do the first look and you get all the important pictures out the way, it definitely leaves time to take pictures wherever your venue is. I feel like we were rushed at the Wedding Pavilion.
That's gonna be a rush because you only have 30 minutes.
Yeah, I definitely feel like it was rushed in there.
And if you don't, I would say if you don't want to feel rushed, don't get married at the pavilion because you literally have 30 minutes. And as soon as that 30 minutes is out, they're pretty much telling you let's move on to the next area.
Yeah. I would say extra guests to take more videos with their phones and not just pictures. I find I like videos more, I guess. Sit down and definitely eat. Don't make sure you sit down and you eat, because you've been all day running around. You just need to sit down and eat. And I would say, I guess my number 1 tip would be, if you want the firework pictures, get a photographer and do it another day. Don't do it in the middle of your wedding like we did.
Interesting. Okay, that's great advice. Well, Amy and Amanda, I think you've offered a lot of great tips and advice for anyone who's interested in getting married or having a vow renewal at Walt Disney World, and I appreciate your taking the time.
Thank you. This was fun.
That's our show for today. I'm your host, Carrie Hayward, inviting you to join me again next week for another episode of the Disney Wedding Podcast. Past shows and tons of photos for each episode are available on my website, DisneyWeddingPodcast.com, or listen in your favorite podcast app. And for instant answers to all your Walt Disney World wedding questions, check out Carrie Hayward's Fairy Tale Weddings Guide, available as an interactive ebook with continual free updates at fairytaleweddingsguide.com.